Come on, y'all can do better than that. Come on.
Yeah.
One more time.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Power, presenting opportunities where everyone rises. We're so glad to have you in the room today. Today is a special day because we have one of our partners here with us today. We have done a lot of work with her in the field, and you'll find out more about that in just a few minutes. But for now, if you could mute your phone, if you could like and share this segment so that those who are not here can take a look, and maybe they'll meet us next time. What you say, babe?
I agree with you. Let me do this. Can y'all put your hands together for our partners, our sponsors, the Joyce Foundation,
Yeah.
Northwestern Medicine, University of Chicago,
Yep.
United Way Metro Chicago,
Yeah.
and Bright Star Community Outreach. Come on, put our hands together. These are the people that allow us to be able to eat what we're eating.
That's right.
Right? That's great. We can enjoy this space. And while you're clapping, let's put our hands together for our staff who served you. You didn't have to get up. Come on, let's make them feel great today.
That's some special people.
Special people.
And you know what? What about our CEO, Pastor Chris Harris?
Yeah.
Is it nice and cool in here? Is it bright in here? We thank God for our CEO. He has such a big heart to invite the community to come in every 2 weeks just to sit down and get more information to make our lives better. Some information you may not know or have forgotten about. That's why we're here. We are presenting opportunities where everyone rises. I think we're ready to give some money away. What you think?
Okay, all right.
Y'all ready
Are we
to
doing
play?
this?
Yeah, we doing that. We doing it. We doing our power bingo. We're doing power bingo. So you see your chips on your table? We did something a little different this time. You know why? Because we can't hold our pens. Somebody keeps taking all our pens, honey.
Who's the pen thief?
You're right.
Where you? I see you. I see you.
So now we have chips, and please keep the chips on the tables when you're done. Please do that for us, would you please?
Don't take the chips home. You can't cash them at the casino.
Can't cash those chips
All right,
in.
you won't get nothing for them.
You can't cash those in.
Come on, Destiny.
And we have Destiny coming up. Our lovely Destiny's going to come up and lead our bingo. Can y'all clap it up for Destiny right now? Yeah. I'll hold the basket for you.
Woo! Yeah. Y'all ready? Y'all don't sound that happy that he got y'all today. I understand. All right. So first,
let's have us some music. Let's go.
Music. The first is E19.
E19.
Good.
E.
E. The next one is W6.
W6.
W6. The next one, P22.
P22.
P22. P22. The next one, W55.
W55.
W55. They is not talking today. P25 is next.
P25.
Are y'all close to power yet? Ain't nobody close? Not yet? Okay, I'm gonna keep pulling.
But you're not a winner yet.
O23.
O23.
Oh. All right, y'all still ain't got power. P19.
P19.
P as in Paul,
P as
Peter,
in Paul,
and Pam.
We're going to wait till you win to say something, all right, moms? All right.
Did I call who? Did I call E14? See, y'all, you got to listen. No,
Shaq,
E19,
you don't win.
Ma'am.
Don't win.
Next one, W62.
W62.
Ooh, I made this one hard, huh? What? Oh, you got power? Mother. Mother.
That's our CEO's mother right there.
Next is R54. Mother, you can't keep saying which one you got. I just want to know if you got power. The next one, E21. Ooh.
All right. Woo.
I was like, that was long.
Can somebody go verify that?
Verify power. I will verify.
Come on, put your hands together and just clap it up for our winner. Man, that was a long power game, babe.
Is this your first time? That's our first time.
Yes, come on, clap it up.
What's your name? Denise. Welcome, Denise. Come on, let's put our hands together for Denise. How much we giving?
We'll check it out. We'll check it and see.
Who won to? Destiny?
We're going to verify. We're going to verify everything. We're going to the video right now. We are going to our video about our Turn Center. I don't know if you know that we moved next door to 4444 South Evans Avenue to the Turn Center, a 68,000 square foot facility where all of our programs can be housed in one spot. Unless you've worked in different locations for Bright Star Community Outreach, you really can't appreciate how thankful we are to all be together as family in one spot now. Can you clap it up for us? Still being able to manage to do things for the community, and now even more so. So here's the video about where we are right now. Come and visit sometime.
Hey everybody, I tell folks all the time, you better stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Bless you, Pastor Mike. Listen, we here at the Turn Center, and can I tell you something? Something amazing happened on yesterday. We were able to host the Secretary of Transportation for the United States of America. Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg stopped by along with our Congress people, along with all of our senators, our amazing leaders in the community on the political level, civic level, and the business level. I'm super excited about what we have done here at the Turn Center. And can I tell you, we're thinking bigger. We're thinking much broader. We're thinking what's next, what's now, and can I tell you, how can we change the trajectory that our community is on? Listen, we repurposed Carter G. Woodson School, a 68,000 square foot facility, and made it the Turn Center. TURN is an acronym for the Urban Resilience Network. We have reactivated this building. And here's what I tell people: say nothing about violence and trauma until you do something about violence and trauma. Secretary Buttigieg, along with many of these other civic leaders, got a chance to come and see the amazing work that young people like these folks in this room are doing around violence prevention. I mean, these young people by themselves are working on a project to say, how can we address violence prevention? There was no way we weren't going to bring the secretary and all of these great leaders and into this building and not show them our health and wellness department. Listen, we got folks in this room that are committed to addressing the social determinants of health. So they got a chance to learn what we're doing and the various programs. These folks are thinking every single day on how we can enable our community to live and live well. 68,000 square feet of space. And not only are we in here, we're going to invite at least 25 other community-based organizations that serve our community to come in this space with us. If you know a good program, if you know a good organization that's looking for space, tell them to reach out to us, because we believe that we are better together. We need your support. You can donate, you can volunteer, or you can simply just share this video to let people know that Bright Star Community Outreach is rocking this thing and making sure that we provide prevention and intervention services. Folks are in here every single day doing the great work of violence prevention, trauma counseling, and all the other things that are happening in our community. And I got to tell you, I'm super duper excited about it. We are looking forward to continuing to not only develop people and develop programs, but also how do we redevelop our greater Bronzeville community? Please go to our website, brightstarcommunityoutreach.com, to learn a little bit more about what we're doing and jobs that are available. We are pumped up about this work, and clearly other collaborators are coming to the table to say, how can we do this great work together? Stay tuned, but listen, more than getting informed, here's what we need you to do. Get inspired enough to get involved.
Oh, yeah.
All right, everybody clap it up. Clap it up, clap it up. We have a very, very special guest with us on today. Her name is Jerry Mack, and she is a public health professional and a health advocate and works for UIC Office of Community Engagement and Neighborhood Health Partnerships. And it's also, actually it's called Ocean. As a director of community engagement, and she is a collaborative partner for a non-profit organization entitled Humble Hearts, Linkage Services, and Collaborative Partners of Jesus Keeps Blessing Us. And she also has a production company with her husband, Cortez Mack. So welcome.
Woo!
It's so good to have you here with us on today.
Thank you.
And we just have a couple questions. We know that according to media and certain studies that COVID is on a decrease, but still there are some cases that are still kind of floating around. So we would like for you to kind of just help us understand the effects of long COVID, or the what you feel after you have had COVID. So we're going to just present you with a couple questions, if that's okay.
All right. Yes. Testing.
Yeah, you on.
Yep, I'm on.
Okay.
Okay, so what you need to, or what is long COVID? Let's start there.
Yeah, so long COVID. So if we, first of all, let me just say it is an honor and a pleasure to be here with you all today. So I appreciate the invitation to come to Bright Star. So thank you so much, and to be a part of your power session. So long COVID, if we kind of think back to the indexes of our experience with COVID-19, it brings us to what we call and know as long COVID at this time. So long COVID is the signs and the symptoms and the conditions that you experience after the initial effect of the virus. And so what happens with that is the fact that there are lingering conditions and signs and symptoms of what the virus caused. And so it could potentially be particles of that virus that's left in our body. It could be part of attacking your autoimmune system, or it could simply be something whereas science is really still trying to figure it out. But they do know that when we did have COVID, when we caught the virus, something stayed. And so that's what they're trying to research and figure out. How do we treat something as such?
Are you telling me that the virus could still be like lying dormant in our bodies?
Well, the idea is, and that is under research, but the idea is that people are experiencing symptoms way after. So even if, and I'll go over those symptoms, that might be one of the questions of what we can look for, right? But the idea that long COVID is actually, it's not lying dormant, because it's very well active as far as like the symptoms of what you're experiencing. That's why they call it long haul COVID or long COVID, because there are things that you're still experiencing even though you're not currently infected.
Now, Miss Jerry, let me tell you this. I had COVID 3 times.
Wow.
3 times. I was vaccinated like I was supposed to. Mm-hmm. Our jobs, we had to do it if we were going to be in public places. I really didn't mind getting the vaccination, and I know in the past and over centuries, we are a little leery as African Americans to go get vaccinated. But then when it came down to it, we did. It was necessary. But still, I caught it 3 times, and the effects lingered. Long after I felt better, I was still kind of cloudy and all of that. Is there any way that COVID can be prevented?
Yeah, well, the idea that COVID is still yet here. I'm sure you all have listened on the news just recently how they were saying that COVID, people are still arriving at the hospitals and have COVID. Well, the only way to really prevent ourselves from COVID is we got to have clean hands, better hygiene.
That's right.
Better hygiene.
Wash
You
those
notice
hands.
that everybody's not walking around with masks anymore, but how is it that you as an individual can protect your own self? And so the idea is that we just have to be clean. We have to think about hygiene. We have to think about that if somebody is sick, well, you need to be leery about that. If somebody's coming around you that's having a cough, their nose is running, they got a fever, and just all the things that we would have done if it was the flu virus. You don't want to go around people, right? Just pretty much engaging and not protecting yourself. But I really think that the thing that will prevent us from COVID, because yet it is still here. As we know, we are just at a level 1 in Cook County, as I checked a couple of weeks, yesterday, because you can go online to see what level you are, what level our communities are. And then that kind of give you an idea, and we have to be just aware. So the idea of prevention is hygiene and being aware.
Yeah.
Wow, that is interesting. So what are the common symptoms of long COVID?
Yeah. So I want to just make sure that I'm going to hit every point, because what is being researched right now is there are 12 symptoms of long COVID. And the researchers are saying that this is what people are reporting from these observational cohort studies, which means that there were people that had COVID, and Bright Star had been very instrumental in the beginning of our cohort, of our observational studies, because Bright Star was one of our recruiting partners for the research study. And so what this study did was people reported that these were the symptoms, 12 symptoms, that lingered and that is giving them challenges and possibly disabling them.
Wow.
So it's keeping them from their daily living activities. And so I'll just go over the 12 symptoms and I'll just name them really quickly. But one was feeling tired and unwell that gets worse after physical activity. Feeling weak and tired, fatigued. Even loss of sexual desire or ability.
Mercy.
The loss of change in taste or smell. So if you think about it, I'm sure if you did have COVID, that was one of those symptoms. But it's lingering and it never came back. I mean, your taste and smell hasn't come back yet.
Wow.
One is brain fog. So I do know that one of the clinical trials that are going on right now is going to address brain fog or neurology. And so what that does is it's more so that our concentration is off, our ability to think, not positively, but the ability for us to think clear, for us to actually have a mental fatigue, so brain fog is a really one that's really being part of a clinical study that's coming. And then feeling thirsty. So we have to think about, even people that are diabetics, they have that thirst as well, but this is just one symptom. Another symptom we want to keep ourselves aware of. Dizziness, long-term cough, a chronic cough. Chest pain with those palpitations. The symptoms may affect your gastrointestinal system. So you may have some stomach problems or some digestion problems. The other is the fluttering or pounding of your heartbeats. That's the palpitations, but the other one was chest pain, just having this constant chest pain. And the other is these unusual movements. They're abnormal movements. Perhaps the flexibility of, I never, because it affects the nerves as well. So maybe I didn't, kick my leg, before, and now my leg is bothering me or something like that. Or these physical movements that you never had after you had COVID.
Wow.
So it's really being aware of the 12 symptoms and really being able to talk to your provider about them.
Is there a way we can get this information, like somewhere? Is there a website or something that we can go to
Yes.
to get a list of these symptoms? Because maybe there are some people in our audience today
Yeah,
that
absolutely. And yes, it is on your screen. That
Awesome.
illnet.org. But I want to tell you that the information that I'm giving you and I'm sharing with you is from the National Institutes of Health. So that's NIH. So NIH is this big medical research institution, and it funds a lot of different projects to do this type of research. So that's where I get my information from, and it's always good to visit that website as well. But then also CDC, which this is Centers of Disease Control. Very good websites. If you even recall when COVID, the pandemic was going on, you had CDC talking to you.
Every day.
You know, you had your Cook County Department of Public Health, your Illinois Department of Public Health. You had all of these collaborative working efforts to bring us the information that we needed.
Yeah.
Well, so who is more likely to get long COVID?
The people that are more likely to get long COVID is those that have, when you initially had COVID, the idea that those symptoms lingered. They didn't go away in a week. They didn't go away in 2 weeks, but they lingered. And so it could be our elderly population. It could be those that have underlying conditions such as lung problems or heart problems. It can also be perhaps the environments that we're in. So if we're, as I talked earlier, and you said, how do we prevent ourselves? It's just the idea of making ourselves aware of hygiene. And I wanted to say also, don't be afraid to still wear your mask. If you go into these really compacted places, it's still good to wear your mask, especially when you go to the doctor. I have to say that part.
Wow.
When you go to the doctor, they still have masks out, you know, in the lobby and things of that nature in the hospitals. So don't be afraid to grab one. You may see people get on the elevator and they coughing and they don't have a mask. Think about that.
Right.
You know, have that mask on to protect yourself. So to answer your question once again is those vulnerable populations.
Got it.
It's those that have had COVID time and time again and having to pay attention to those symptoms and being able to talk to your provider about those.
Okay, I have a two-part question. So, are there clinics that specialize in long COVID treatment or post-COVID treatment? And how do I get the most out of those appointments when I visit the doctor for long COVID?
Absolutely. So, yes, there are post-COVID clinics, and I do have a list of them if you are interested in. We have a handout for you. And those clinics are specifically for those that have these lingering symptoms and need to talk to a provider.
Yeah.
There is no treatment as of yet, and that's what they're working on. So that's what these new clinical trials are about, to address maybe 5 of these symptoms that really come out of COVID.
Yeah.
And so those clinics, if you're feeling that now, it would be good for you to go there and talk to a provider. And I'll tell you the benefit of that, because long COVID can be categorized as a disability.
Is that right?
Oh, wow.
That's right.
Did y'all hear that?
As a disability.
Say it one more time.
Long COVID can be categorized as a disability. And so what you want to do is really look at the Department of Human Health and Services that'll give you that information about the disability of it. To see if you're eligible. So it's good to perhaps visit these clinics so that you can talk to those providers. And then also your other part of that question was, how do we talk to our providers? Well, if you have ever had COVID, has your body changed? Has your daily living activities changed? These are the type of conversations that you want to have with your provider, because they'll be able to assess whether it's, you know, giving you a blood test or giving you different types of tests.
Right.
But the thing about, most importantly, I always say that when we talk to our providers, we need to keep a journal. It is good to keep a journal of how you are feeling, what your symptoms are, what you've noticed in a change. That's what I really want to express, that we need to keep journals on our health.
Now, if I go to the doctor for post-COVID treatment and I just lay it all out, look, these are the things that I'm feeling that are different in my body. what is the use of me holding back and not telling them the whole story? Like, I know sometimes when people go to the doctor, they let the doctor diagnose what they're feeling at that moment, but they won't go into further conversation about, but this is also what I'm feeling. What would be your advice to someone who may get enough courage to go finally to the doctor because they have symptoms still from long COVID? What would be your advice to them to talk to their doctor? How would you tell them to talk to their doctor about how they're feeling?
Well, first of all, don't give yourself a disservice. It is a disservice if you are sitting with the medical provider and allowing them to tell you how you feel.
That's right.
You are the best advocate for your own health.
That's right.
I'm only going to treat what you're going to tell me or what I'm going to tell you. So that's why I say it's important to, even before you get to your provider, write down those questions.
Yeah.
I always encourage that because we forget when we get in the doctor's office. Think about this.
Sure do.
Before healthcare was value-based, and it was based on what I treat when you come in my office and I'm rushing you out. Mm-hmm. Before it became value care, you have the time right now to be able to talk to your provider. Don't let them rush you out.
That's right.
Not at all.
That's right.
And the best thing you can do is have some support with you. If you can have some support with you, because you may get nervous, you may forget. That's why I say it's important to write it down. But it's good to have some support when you go to those providers as well, because it may be something that they hear that you don't hear, or something that they understand or that you don't understand. But I would really encourage you to really not do yourself a disservice when you go before a provider.
Yeah.
You know, these insurance companies now, and I think most of the audience probably are on Medicare. So the great thing about Medicare is the fact that when you are with the provider, there is an annual list, of course, that they have to go through. You know, they're responsible for that. When you're with your provider, I encourage you all, don't let them tell you what it is you're coming in here for.
That's right.
This is what I'm coming in here for.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, you know, and it's like having that casual conversation, because even though they're a clinical professional, you're the best advocate for your own self.
That's right. Can you clap it up for your own self?
Yeah. You matter. We matter.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Now, on the lighter side of that, Ms. Jerry, we have done some work in the past together, and we have had to become aware and educate ourselves about COVID. Thanks to you, we know so much more about it. Thanks to your team, we know so much more about the long COVID study. And Aaron, he's our person that handles that study. So Aaron and Jerry, how have you two, in your conversation and collaboration with each other, how have you been able to, I would say, strengthen the awareness of the community? What types of things have you done here at BSCO, and what have you done community-wide to bring awareness? What kinds of things have you both done?
Well, we participated in a long COVID research study, mm-hmm. and our street team went out and they took surveys, and they got information from the community. And our street team did just a phenomenal job of gathering information and bringing it back. I think we were slated to have maybe about 600 some odd surveys completed, but our team went over that. I think they collected maybe about 1,200 surveys.
In addition to what we were supposed to.
In addition to,
wow.
So that data is very important. So it helps the medical field understand what the community is going through, so we could provide programs or just resources for our community. So,
yep. Clap it up for Aaron and his team at the Health Department of Bright Star Community Outreach. Ms. Jerry?
Yeah, so I want to stress the importance, and, you know, it's a clap up to Bright Star, who has been very instrumental in our recovery project, which means it's researching COVID to enhance recovery, and they have been a really good. You all have been a very good
Bright Star?
partner. That's right,
Put
Bright
your hands
Star.
together for Bright Star.
Bright
then.
Star,
Ooh.
very instrumental, and that's
Okay.
why I say it is important for research and community to come together.
Yeah.
And the idea is Bright Star, community-based organizations, is in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Those people that are at NIH, the National Institutes of Health, don't know what's going on in
That's
the community.
right. That's right.
So why not collaborate with community-based organizations such as Bright Star, who has the community at heart, who knows the community, and to be able to bring awareness to what's out here. And so they have been very supportive in what we're doing with the Recover Project and making sure that the community knows what's needed in research in order for us to find treatments, in order for us to find ways so that people can live with what's going on as far as long COVID. So you all have been very instrumental in that. The recruitment process in our first year, there was a recruitment process of trying to get people into the study, the observational cohort study, which means that there was only really completing surveys and telling us exactly how you're feeling and what's going on. So it was nothing very invasive. In fact, people were able, that hadn't gone to the doctor or seen a provider in a very long time, when they entered that study, all of that health care was free to them.
Yeah.
So if they needed, blood pressure checks or x-rays and things of that nature, all of that was free to them. So it was a plus in being in that research study.
Yeah.
And the other part of that is we have to be able to bridge the gap of participatory research and community with those researchers, right? So the ideas for, you talked earlier about the mistrust.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
How am I really going to trust if I don't have people that look like me?
That's it.
That's going into my community and telling me that this research study, it's going to do us some justice, because of that, past mistrust and things of that nature. But the idea is community-based organizations and research are so important. I heard a Black provider when COVID was going on, because there were so many Zoom calls, everybody trying to figure out what COVID is about, what's happening. And I do remember her saying, for us as African Americans, you all, we have to be a part of research. And the reason being is because how would they know how to treat us?
Right.
Our
Right.
DNA is different from, the
Exactly.
BIPOC, when you talk about BIPOC communities, so that's, Black, indigenous, and all of the different colored cultures and things of that nature, we're all different. Mm-hmm. It may be, if there's something that, and I'll say this loosely, but it may be a medication that an Asian American can't take,
Right.
but we can.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the idea is to make sure that we're not doing ourselves a disservice when they're asking us to be a part of research. It's what we want to find a treatment for. We still want to have a good quality of life. That's really what
That's
it's
right.
about.
That's right.
Looking at our quality of life, living longer, living with energy, and living with a sound mind,
Yes.
So I would just encourage us, just as in these community-based organizations, if you're asked to do research, make sure y'all, you ask the questions. Well, what is this about?
That's right.
How is it going to affect me? How is it going to benefit me? And if those questions settle with your spirit, then, I encourage you to be a part of it.
I love that. Let's put our hands together for Miss Jerry. We have one more question for you. How did you get into this work? Tell us about who you are. Who are you, Miss Jerry?
Wow. So I really love healthcare, and I love community. My career started off in banking. So I can remember,
Banking?
in banking. So I can remember as far as back, first Chicago. First Chicago.
Wow.
And then went to Bank One, and then all of those. But through those mergers. But I remember sitting at my desk. At that time, I was an assistant unit manager of the call center. Mm-hmm. And I remember these newsletters coming across my desk, and they had wellness information. And I used to think, well, how are they getting all this wellness information? How are they putting it together and how are they sharing it with us? And I remember saying to myself, the closest that I could potentially get to clinical was to go through public health. In public, and I knew that, in clinical, it was going to take me a while to get there, because I originally, honestly, wanted to be an oncologist because I wanted to study brain tumors. And when I didn't do that, so I had every opportunity. But I remember when I left the bank, that's when I went into healthcare. I went to go work for a pediatrician's office, and I started into Advocate Aurora Healthcare. And so when I got there, I took the opportunity to go to school to get my master's in public health.
Okay.
So little do they know, being being hired part-time, I was using the time after work to sit at their computers and do homework.
Okay.
So the field of public health allowed me to see the areas that we lacked. And so what public health does is we assess, we plan, and then we implement and we evaluate programming to see if it's suitable for prevention or intervention. And so my whole cause was the idea that before we get to the curative state of care, and an example of curative state of care is for those that have cancer or those that have to go through treatment. Before you get to that, let me make you aware of what happens before you get to that. Let's talk about diet. Let's talk about diabetes. Let's talk about COPD. Let's talk about all these chronic conditions that takes over our bodies and takes over our families and, through bloodlines and things of that nature. Let me be the one to talk about prevention and awareness before we get to the curative state.
That's right.
And so my whole journey through public health, starting in banking and so many other industries, but my heart has always been with healthcare and community. And when I can intertwine the two, because there's an alliance between those two, then that makes it, all the worthwhile of what I'm doing in public health is to make our people aware.
Yeah.
Being able to create something for us to live that best quality of life.
I love that. Come on.
That's amazing.
Let's clap it up for Miss Jerry. And it's true, this is definitely your passion.
Yes.
We've sat on many meetings together, Zoom calls, and all kinds of collaborations, and your heart has remained the same through everything that we've ever done with you. So come on, clap it up one more time. Aaron, you got anything else you want to ask?
I'm really curious about the Humble Heart linkage services. Can you explain that?
Yes. So Humble Heart was developed from I had a nephew, and I'll tell you a really short story. So my nephew, he was 4 years old and diagnosed with a brain tumor that was the size of a grapefruit that sat at the back of his head. And I remember how it turned our family upside down at the time. I think I might have been a freshman in high school or something like that. And that's why I wanted to be a neurologist. I wanted to know what was going on. Like, how did this happen? Yeah. But nevertheless, he was cured from cancer.
Thank God for that.
Wow, that's amazing.
And God allowed him to be on this earth for 33 years with us.
Oh.
And so he did pass away in 2019. He actually had a heart attack. Okay. And but we were so grateful because we knew that God cured him from that.
Yeah.
So there was something else that took him home, but we knew God was a healer.
Watch it.
So
watch yourself.
Watch it.
Watch it. Watch it.
So out of that came Humble Heart, because he was the sweetest person. He was my first nephew. The biggest heart. I mean, he gave away a lot, and he was just a jewel. And I'll tell you how God was really always with him. My nephew Herman would just walk from work all the time. And people could, it could be stuff going on around him, nothing ever touched him.
Wow.
And that was the miracle part about it. Nothing ever came, no harm came to him. And he was always so independent and things of that nature. But humble heart, that's a part of me, was birthed from that idea. And so what we do is supply services of social determinants of health. So if you need help with finding a job resource, if you need help with finding a provider for mental health or for primary care and things of that nature, we link you to those services.
Oh, wow.
And then also what's birthed out of that is the fact that my husband is an independent filmmaker.
Yes.
And so he makes these conscious films that talk about and address perhaps mental health and other different areas. And so I utilize those films to have a conversation.
Oh, wow.
You know, so that's educating our community as well and making you aware. So I use that as an avenue as well as a pathway for education, for health, and for wellness.
Awesome. Can you clap it up one more time? Now I want you to put a pin in the fact that she said her husband is a filmmaker and she works alongside him, because you'll be seeing him soon. He'll be up here to talk to us in just a few more weeks. We'll have him come and tell us all about what he does. But in the meantime, let's love on Miss Jerry Mack and be thankful for her contribution to our community, the African American community. Clap it up one more time. Let's let her feel the love in the room. Thank you, Miss Jerry.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to a commercial right now, and we'll be back to play more bingo or more. We don't know what we're going to do next. We don't know. We never know. Just stay tuned.
An overview of what you'll learn as you view our videos about BSCO. Prior to the pandemic, the Urban Resilience Network pillars have focused on child and family services, mentoring, workforce development, advocacy, and trauma counseling. COVID-19 required us to shift our service delivery. Going forward, our attention is on TNT and CNC. Trauma will scale our work based on the Israeli model that has touched residents with trauma-related services. Training will harness our efforts to bring workforce development, resulting in livable wages to our community. Community conversation and collaboration will strengthen our current collaborative of 70+ community-based organizations. The focus of the collaborative is creating initiatives and mobilizing efforts to address workforce development, social determinants of health, housing, and education. In addition to these areas, the overall goal of the collaborative is to reduce the effects of trauma and violence in the greater Bronzeville community. Through the work of our collaborative, according to the University of Chicago research, our efforts have translated into a 14% reduction in robberies, a 10% drop in aggravated assaults, and a 17% drop in shootings in the specific catchment area that we serve. Your support of our work will further our outreach and allow us to serve more in the community. It is our hope that you will learn more about our ecosystem of care in our programmatic videos, and that you will partner with us as we endeavor to make meaningful change to the greater Bronzeville community and beyond.
All right, let's put our hands together for the video. Did we enjoy Miss Jerry today? We learned a lot, right? That's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. We're going to give some money away. Is that all right? Somebody over here said, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a riddle. The first person that raised their hand, you have an opportunity to answer it. All right? Y'all ready? Here it is.
Okay,
a man.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, babe. How are we going to have them answer it? Are we going to have them raise their hand? Because it could be bedlam in here if we leave it up to our audience. I know y'all.
Yeah. Raise your hand, and I'll pick you out.
All right.
Just don't holler the answer. If you holler the answer, you're going to lose. You have to.
All right, so I'll look out. You go ahead.
Right.
You ask, I'll look.
The first person that raised their hand.
All right.
If they Put your hand down, Wakenda. You can't win. A man shaves several times a day, but still has a beard. How? I'll say it again. A man shaves several times a day.
Several times a day.
But still has a beard. How?
I saw the lady in the back first, the last one. Yes.
Correct.
She got it. Y'all don't get mad. Come on, we celebrate around here. Keisha.
The same young lady.
This is your day, sister. Come here for a minute. Come over here 1 second. We need some music, y'all. Can y'all give us something, please? Let us pump it up a little bit. Come on.
We ain't with the
you
music
don't need
people.
No shoes. It's all right. Thank y'all. Hi. You said this your first time here ever? What's your name?
Come on up. Come on.
Denise? Yes. Denise.
Let's put our hands together for Denise. So Denise, we thank you for being here with us, and we're going to celebrate you by giving you another gift card. You see that lady right there? Yes. All right, she's got your gift card. Go on back and get that.
All right.
Man, look. This was the day. We got 2 more gifts to give away. Y'all quiet? I don't know if you full or what it is. You can't be hot because I got a jacket on. That's how chilly it is. I got a jacket on.
Right.
It's so cold. I got a jacket on today.
Jacket on. Not just a jacket either.
Not just a jacket.
Sparkling. Sparkling jacket. Yeah. Diamonds and pearls on there. Huh?
So let me remind you, we have another power coming up, but this was the last one for for August.
Ooh. October.
This is the last one for August. So we will see you in 2 more weeks. So make sure you check it off on your calendar. We will be calling you. How many people did not get a call for this today? All right. Are you on our list? You did not get a call. We're going to tighten that up too. We're going to tighten that up too to make sure that you get your phone calls to remind you to come. It's going to be in 3 weeks because we have a 5th Wednesday. So don't look for 2. It'll be in 3 weeks. Did I do that right?
I think you did.
I think I did that right. Okay.
Did.
All right. Thank you.
If you come in on Wednesday and nobody's here, you that's the wrong day. That's the wrong day, okay?
All right, so for now, if you want to go onto our website, brightstarcommunityoutreach.com, and register for the next power session, do it now. You're not doing anything anyway. Just go on, log on, register, and meet us right here in the building. We have people, we got food here, we got guests here, we got prizes here. The only thing we don't have here is you.
Right. Now, we're about to give away some money, but for those online, y'all can't get none, all right? That's only for the people here. So the people here, let's wave to the people online. Say bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.